Title: I had just won $9 million and went home to tell my wife, but my wife pushed me down the stairs. I woke up in the hospital. She said I deserved it. Days later, she arrived with her new husband to laugh, but when he saw who stood next to me, he screamed. Oh my God, it's the start. I remember the sound more than the pain, the crack of bone against wood, the air rushing out of me as my body tumbled down the stairs. The world spun, then darkness swallowed everything whole. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. My ribs were bound, my head throbbed, and she was sitting there, my wife, the woman I had loved for 12 years. She leaned close, her breath sharp with wine. "You deserved it," she whispered. Her words cut deeper than the broken bones. We met in college. She was brilliant, magnetic, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and bend it around her. I thought she chose me because she saw something in me others didn't. I worked 3 jobs to support us while she studied law. I carried her through exams, through bills, through every sleepless night. When she graduated, I told myself it was our victory. When I bought her the ring, it was our future. When she became partner at her firm, I clapped the loudest. Always her, always us, or so I thought. The night before my fall, I had bought champagne, a winning ticket in my pocket, $9 million, enough to change everything, enough to free us from every debt, every worry, enough for her to finally see me as more than the man carrying her bags. But when I told her, she didn't see freedom, she saw opportunity without me. Lying in that hospital bed, I replayed the push in my mind. Her hand against my chest, the look in her eyes. Cold calculation, not anger. It wasn't an accident. She wanted me gone. I stayed quiet. Doctors called it an accident. I didn't correct them. I let her think I was broken, helpless, defeated. But in the silence, I planned. While she paraded her freedom, I set the board. First, I transferred the winnings into a trust. Quietly, legally, untouchable. Not in my name, not in hers. She thought she'd inherit. She thought she'd won. Then I called an old friend, Daniel, detective, retired but not rusty. He owed me, and he hated betrayal as much as I did. He installed the cameras, the recorders. We built a file thicker than a Bible. Her affairs, her embezzlement at work, her whispered plans with the man she thought was my replacement. And that man, I learned everything about him, too. Days later, she arrived, hand in hand with him. Her new husband, she called him, though the ink on our divorce hadn't dried. They stood at the foot of my bed, smirking like jackals circling prey. "You always were weak," she said. "This," she gestured to the man beside her, "is what a real man looks like." He laughed. I didn't. I only said, "Is that so?" And then the door opened. Daniel stepped inside, not in uniform, but his presence carried weight. Beside him stood another man, the one she thought she'd married, the real husband. The man beside her wasn't who he claims to be. He was already married, already wanted for fraud in 3 states. The look on her face when she saw the real wife step in, priceless. But it wasn't over. Daniel placed a folder on my lap, thick, heavy, evidence. He flipped it open. Photos of her with her new husband, receipts of money siphoned from her firm, recorded calls plotting my accident. Her smirk dissolved. His jaw clenched. "You didn't?" she stammered. "Oh, I did," I said, my voice steady, cold. "Every step you took, I was behind you. Every lie you told, I was listening. You thought you'd pushed me down, but all you did was push me forward." The fraudster turned pale. He hadn't realized she'd dragged him into my trap. Daniel cuffed him on the spot. The real wife screamed at him, spitting betrayal in his face as officers let him out. "My wife," she crumbled, not from guilt, from fear. Her career, her reputation, gone. She begged, hands trembling, mascara running. "You can't do this," she sobbed. "I already have." Her firm cut ties the moment the evidence hit their inbox. Her assets froze. Her friends vanished. The woman who once stood taller than everyone now hid from the light she once commanded. And me? I walked out of that hospital with $9 million and something greater: silence. I never shouted, never raged. I let her destroy herself with the lies she built. All I did was show the world the truth. People ask if I regret it, if I miss her. No. Love blinds you until betrayal burns it away. Then, all that's left is clarity. She wanted me broken at the bottom of the stairs. Instead, I stand taller than ever. The game was never about strength. It was about patience, calculation. And when the final piece fell into place, I watched her whole empire collapse with a single whisper. My whisper. Because revenge isn't loud, it's quiet, precise, surgical. And in the silence after the fall, she finally understood. I was never the weak one. She was.